faces of, in this instance, setters that you have above the arcade as you look around the square. The square was completed in 1699, by the way. It's also famously the setting for the original Ritz Hotel, although it's not much to look at the moment. It's behind the massive scaffolding just behind us on the right hand side. The original Ritz Hotel, where Coco Chanel lived in a private suite of rooms for 35 years. And she died in that suite of rooms in January 1971. But as we leave the square, if you look at the shape of the square, you'll notice it's a rectangle with its corners cut off, and that might be reminiscent to you of the bottle stoppers of Chanel No. 5 perfume, which is a direct reference to the Place Vendôme, where Coco Chanel lived, where she worked, and you could say where she drew much of her inspiration from. Now, just on the off chance that there are any Texans amongst you, you might be interested to learn that the building just to our right-hand side as we leave the square is where you had the Embassy of the Independent Republic of Texas in the 1840s, France having been the first country to recognize Texas as an independent republic before its assimilation into the United States. Directly ahead of us we have the tree line of the Tuileries Gardens, former gardens of the Tuileries Palace, a Renaissance palace that burned down at the end of the Paris Commune of 1871, the period when the city of Paris rose up and declared itself a separate socialist state to the rest of France, remaining so for a mere 9 weeks before being brutally repressed by the new Republican army. During the course of the fighting of what's become known as the Bloody Week, a number of buildings and monuments burned down, including either as a byproduct of the fighting or intentionally set fire to by the communards themselves, including the Tuileries Palace. But the gardens remain a beautiful example of formal French garden, very symmetrically laid out, very different to the British traditional rolling landscapes. And there's a footbridge over from the Orsay Museum to the Tuileries Gardens.